now here is the completed rifle. Let's take a look at it. So starting from the front, we have an SLR compensator hybrid attached to a Roscoe 300 Blackout barrel, a Diamondback Firearms handguard, Superlative Arms adjustable gas block, Crimson Trace 1000 lumen weapon light, Aero Precision upper, slick side, no forward assist, and then we have an arrow lower, of course. Attached up top we have the Swamp Fox Saber 5 times, and attached the Sentinel red dot. For charging handle, we have a Battle Arms Development rack handle, along with Battle Arms Development hardware controls, safety, bolt catch, CMC trigger, flat face. We have Diamondback Firearms BCG. On the back side, a Thordson Customs pistol buffer saddle. And we have an oldie but goodie, an Aries Armor pistol grip. You know, I first built a 300 Blackout upper, which would be this one right here. We'll just go over this one real quick too. Seekins compensator with, I believe, a Aries Armor, Firearms Unknown now, house barrel, and arms front sight base A2 silhouette gas block. Samson handguard with a hand stop BCM, quick release. This is an Aries Armor upper, along with an Aries Armor BCG, and with an arms backup sight. Why Subsonic? Funny story actually. I used to use the Remington 150s a lot, and the local Walmart didn't have any that time, and so they had 220s in stock, and I ended up buying those instead. Now, I just threw them into my gun locker, and then one day I decided I wanted to clean up my locker and condensed all my ammunition together and put the 150s and the 220s together. Now, when I went to the range, I would get things like bang, 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 click, or bang, click, and not realizing that my mistake. I only realized it later on, after tearing my upper, the old upper, down several times. And I finally looked, I thought it was magazines too, and then I finally looked at the ammunition and noticed that the bullet sizes were different, especially with the 220 grain being just a tad longer than the 150s. And that's when I made my discovery. Researching everything, researching the Remington bullets. I'm like, oh, these are 220s, they fire at this FPS. And so my journey down the subsonic hole I went. Since I was running out of Remingtons and the Walmarts weren't selling, my local Walmarts in California weren't selling rifle ammunition anymore, I had to go through different means or buying different brands, more affordable brands as well. And now that 300 Blackout isn't a boutique round anymore, we've got quite a few selections and offerings. So now I went with the 110 VMAX from Ammunition Inc. I also bought some S&B cellular and bellet, I think that's how you say it. 220 subgrains. 220 subgrains. I guess that's how you could say it. And later on I found this one company called Virog that made some interesting poly-coated 300 Blackout ammunition, so I thought I'd give those a shot. Now, so Supersonics perform flawlessly. They shoot all the time, every time you pull a trigger. Well, I guess not, except for the Ammunition Inc. The 110 grain bullets are significantly shorter, and with the VMAX tip, I kind of found some feeding issues, but once the feeding issues stop, the gun just runs, so that's good there. The cellular and bellet, once I had it dialed in with the gas block, it was really good to shoot. Now, one thing in the journey I found was buffer weights could also be significant. And fortunately, I had a different buffer system, Strike Industries short pistol buffer tube system, and that one came with a very small buffer with a flat spring. That system actually cycled the SMB very well and was able to get a full lockback on it. The other buffer in there, a little smaller buffer. Don't know if it's the same size, but who knows. Full lockback, look at that. Nice. But because I'm running low on the SMB and it was a little expensive, I decided to pick up some of this Virog ammunition. Now the Virog ammunition, I'm kind of frustrated with it. I think maybe it's just because the system I'm using with it. Could be a multitude of things, but I think my biggest complaint is with the blue polycoat on here. The blue polycoat because of the Strike Industries buffer of how small it is, it doesn't have enough oomph to seat the bullet all the way in. So I get an occasional failure to fire because the BCG didn't seat the bullet all the way in. I think it really has to do with this blue polycoat. Another thing too is the bullets are vary in size very much between the lots, or between these bullets. Like one looks similar to the other bullet shapes, and then we have one that basically looks like a crayon. The variances, didn't make me very happy. Did have feeding issues with the 220s where sometimes even the bottom round would stick up, and then so the accuracy varies so wildly with the Virog, where when I was adjusting the gas block, I was able to get the SMB and the ammo ink to shoot in the same place. The ammo ink was placing higher than the Subsonic. Once I adjusted the gas block, I was able to line them up and shooting them in the same place at 10 yards, though, not at distance. At distance, the SMB drops really, really hard. So more testing is going to be needed with that. Virog, however, oh man. So aiming at the bullseye, my first shot that I shot with the Virog hit in the 6th ring at 12 o'clock. The next 3 shots hit at the 9 ring at 7 o'clock. 3 shots, and then the last 2 shots fired hit in the 6th ring at the 3 o'clock position. So again, I don't know if it has to do with the gas system or the buffer system or with the rifle at all, but I do believe that the feeding issues and the accuracy issues probably have to do with the blue polycoat and basically not being an FMJ, and with the wild variances in the bullet shape. So I got a lot of it. Can be used for plinking ammo, but I believe that I'm going to be sticking with the SMB for until I can find something else, I guess. So check out some of the shooting that I did at the range, and go out and have some fun, guys.